up, guys? Famer 1, 2, and 2, and it's top. We'll go for Tuesday. It's probably Tuesday. And today we are continuing the same thing as always, the top 10 best cards in the main sets of the game. And today is Soul of the Duelist. Soul of the Duelist is unique because it's it's the first set in which they stopped taking two OCG sets of different names and smushing them together and making a TCG set. So this one actually ends up being a shorter number of cards because it's more like the standard short OCG sets. Now, one might think that is an interesting and cool topic, but it's about the most interesting thing about this set, because this set is horrendous. So, because I don't really want to spend any of my own mental prowess talking about a bad set, I wrote my buddy Tommy into helping. So, because if anyone can talk about bad cards, it's him. So come here, Tommy.
What's up, guys? How you doing? David here, 1, 2, and 2, and I am French Puerto Rican sexiness. Oh wait, you already did that, but you're not sexy.
Check out my shot. All right, so as always, we're gonna do the same rules we always do, and that's look at the set as if it's in a bubble. But today I'm molding that bubble a little bit because most of these cards are useless within the set of themselves and only work with other cards, and they're all so bad. So we're gonna use a lot of tiebreakers because I did notice that there's a lot of the, I'm not gonna mention ever again the rest of this video, tribute set flip effect monsters, and on my Discord we had a giant argument at whether or not like Mystic Swordsman level 2 was good because it could in a bubble take on all those tribute set monsters, and I had to bring order to the chaos and convince everybody that in no matter what context we're talking,
it sucks.
Tribute set for Noble Maneater Bug is terrible. So no bubble this time. Or it's a popped bubble, because I can't have that argument. I don't want to have that argument anymore. It was dumb. So without further ado, number 10. I'm gonna give this one to Tommy, because that's the format we're using this video.
So guys, number 10 is this bad card right here. Heavy Slump. Heavy Slump is a normal trap card that when activated reads, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they shuffle their entire hand into the deck, then draw 2. The good thing about this card is that it is a +6,
5,
+5 for you. Yeah. It's a +5 for you. The problem with this card is that the number of cards your opponent has to have in their hand is so outrageously astronomical that it's really not plausible, especially at the time when this card came out. When this card came out, there weren't many draw cards or search and add to your hand cards as there are in the game now. So that's the major issue with this card. This card would have been better later on, maybe during the Dragon Rulers era, or when we had Super Rejuvenation running rampant with Exodia FTK.
Maybe.
But yeah, when it came out, no.
Maybe Spiral Machine Dupe, maybe?
Just for the fact that this card is on the list, it shows you how bad this set is.
Number 9 is Muko, or Null and Void, depending on how old you are. This one's unique because it got eroded to an entirely different name, and yet we never actually got an official print. The only word this is ever referred to as Muko is in the official card database, or I believe the manga in which it first appeared, and where that's what it was called.
It did. What does Muko mean?
Muko is in, I don't know. You're Muko-ing me crazy.
Well, moco in Spanish is a booger.
Well, that's what this freaking card is. This is not even the top 10 best cards. This is the top 10 least I hate this set. But anyway, the reason why it was changed to Muko is because it was called Null and Void before, and then accidentally Infernoids could search it because of a localization problem. And even though I don't think Infernoids would ever want to search this, it would never really be a very good play. It's kind of a win more move at best. I'm pretty sure Konami has just at this point established the blanket clause that if it was a localization problem from the past, we will errata it and change its name, even if it would be good or not. Because we need to just be fair. Like, a Frog the Jam can't be a frog, this can't be a void trap card. So, fine, whatever. But what Muko does, this doesn't have problem solving text and it's absolutely a nightmare. Activate only when an effect of drawing card or cards is activated. Both players see the cards drawn by the effect and discard them to the graveyard. I like the fact, my favorite part about this card is we both have to look at them. We both have to Look at the cards drawn. You can't-
Judge, he's slow playing. Looking at my cards.
I'm still looking.
So
That's time in the round.
End of match procedures.
Muko, Hidden Tech. This card's not so bad. It's actually just clumsily worded drastic drop off without being a counter spell. That would be broke. Counter trap card. Without being a counter trap card, which would lend itself to your opponent not being able to chain things to what they're drawing. So it's okay. And if you're looking at just a set as just a set, it's not awful. I guess the only thing you can say is you can't activate it during the draw phase because you can't chain it to inherent draws during the draw phase. You can only use it against effects. So that's, I think that kind of goes to what Heavy Slump is. We just didn't have the draw cards to make this viable.
So guys, number 8 on this list is Mass Dragon. This card is another searching monster that...
Battle Tutor.
Yeah, it sucks. Mass Dragon is another searching type monster that only gets its effect when destroyed by battle. It reads, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one dragon type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck. I mean, you're gonna get twin-headed behemoth.
The coolest thing is it can float into itself.
And into Troop Dragon, who can float into Troop Dragon, then
You could waste a lot of time.
Troop Dragon, I guess? Yeah. God, why are we doing this set?
We have to. And as a dragon, it's not the worst. It's probably the best type. So that's...
I don't know. Well, there's Mass Dragon, guys.
Not,
but whatever.
There's not much to say. Number 7 is Dark Factory of Mass Production. More like Dark Factory of Ass Production.
I like your ass production.
Shut up. Ew. This is an interesting +1 spell card that reads, target 2 normal monsters in your grave, add them to your hand.
Exodia!
Yeah, you pretty much use this for Exodia pieces you hit with, like, was Painful Choice ever actually legal? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can use it with Painful Choice. It's a little bit better version of Backup Soldier?
Or salvage.
Yeah, it's less restrictive. Normal monsters tend to be bad, but at this point in the game, you could add back 2 2K 1900-ish beaters, which wouldn't be so bad. It's a +1. It's a good late game-ish. Exodia! That's all I got.
It's a bad set. So number 6 on this list is kind of a home run in the way of putting Big Dick on board. Ooh. Ultimate Baseball Kid.
I hate you.
This level 3 fire monster has 500 attack, 1000 defense, and reads that this card gains 1000 attack for each face-up fire-type monster other than this card on the field. Also, you can send one other face-up fire-type monster from your side of the field to the grave to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. This card was good because you can go ahead and pull off kind of a good combo with it, if you could, with UFO Turtle. Potentially search more fire-type monsters out, or even another copy of itself. Put 2 of them on board. They increase each other's attacks, each by 1000. So you're getting kind of a little bit beefy monsters on the field at that time. Nowadays, you could probably wind up doing an OTK with it, if you could pull it off. Still a bad card. But we're kind of getting into the goodish cards of this section, and this is kind of one of them. That's why he's more down here on the list. Puts big damage on board, and then late game, if you really couldn't pull off the damage, or if you were restricted, you can actually burn for a little bit and possibly get away with stealing the game that way too.
It's not once per turn.
And it's not once per turn.
Armed Dragon level 7! Ah, yes, this is the set that introduces us to the level monsters. Basically, it's a silly mechanic where if you accomplish some goal with the low level guys, you can send that guy to the graveyard and summon from the deck the next up level guy, and he tends to be better with better stats, better effects. And Armed Dragon level 7 is no exception to this rule. This level 7 Wind Dragons, his typing's okay, he's decent 2000 attack power, but his effect is actually pretty neat, which reads, this monster cannot be normal summoned or set, which, okay, fine. He can only be special summoned by Armed Dragon level 5's ability, okay, fine. But what we really care about is his unique ability. You can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then you can nuke all of your opponent's face-up monsters with an attack equal or less than the monsters you discarded. So if you send a big giant beater like a Blue Earth White Dragon from your hand, you can nuke everything your opponent has with 3000 or less attack. He's pretty easy to summon. We got that Ojama Chaz support. It's like ABC's Jama's freaking Armed Dragon for some reason, and that can help put him on board, which we didn't have that at the time, but it's a little weird to talk about. But he does have decent support. He is a level 7 dragon, which is not the worst thing in the world. You can get him on board pretty easy, and his walking lightning vortex, a little situational, but it's pretty decent.
So the next card on this list is Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 8. This guy is finally a good card that I can talk about. Thank God. So like Dave just told you, with Armed Dragon level 7, this is another level monster. This monster reads that he cannot be normal or special summoned except by the effect of Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6. This 3000 Dragon Fire Beater though has an amazing effect. While he's on the field, during either player's turn, when a spell card is activated, you can negate the activation and effect of that card and destroy it. And then the stupid text says you have to control this face-up card to activate and resolve this effect. This monster was awesome because it was essentially Imperial Order on legs, except it didn't affect you. You got to choose and pick which spell cards to negate. So you can negate all of your opponents and let yours fly through. This card saw a lot of play. It saw play in the tournament scene as well, on a competitive level, and actually did some damage. It'd be really cool if you comboed this card off with Jinzo at the time, or with Royal Decree, more modern day, and you can shut down not only all of your opponent's traps, but their spells as well using this card, and having giant attack power to hit over everything with. Can probably still see some play. Maybe in the near future, people will do something with him. Maybe in Sky Strikers, against Sky Strikers. I gotta go build a deck.
Mobius the Frost Monarch. Oh, here we go. Another really decent card. This is the second Monarch card we ever got, and he's actually one of the better ones. Probably the best one until Kaios, right?
Ryza.
Ryza's really good. When this card is tribute summoned, you can target 2 spell or traps on the field and destroy them. This is an easy +1 maneuver in a slower format. Tribute summoning for a big 2400 beater wasn't impossible to do, and just the swing and tempo and card advantage was fan-freaking-tastic. Also, let's be like, you know, the soul exchange combos. You know, you wouldn't get the +1, but, you know, you'd at least swing tons of tempo. And actually, no, that would be a +1 because you use one of their monsters too. Ooh! No battle phase though. Overall, just the Monarchs have always been really solid monsters. There's not much to say about them. But Mobius, Water, Aqua, the typing's really good. Yeah, Mobius is alright.
Damn it, Dave, stop pulling me into your video! Well, this is Hammer Shot. This spell card came out in this wonderful set, and actually did see a lot of competitive play and kind of changed things up a little bit. Before that, we had Fisher. Was Smashing Ground out yet?
Yes.
We had Smashing Ground. Now Hammer Shot comes along. Hammer Shot is another 1-for-1, and what it does is it destroys one face-up monster that has the highest attack on board. So if you have the biggest beater on board in comparison to your opponent, don't play this card. You'll destroy yourself. It's very bad. Don't be bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! But Hammer Shot was a great 1-for-1. Got rid of a lot of problematic monsters, especially bigger monsters that were around, floating around, doing things, boss monsters, and it was just simple, drop the card on board and it's over. Kind of like what Raigeki does nowadays, only better.
Alright, I'm gonna run through the honorable mentions. These were a little rough, mostly because this set though.
It sucks.
But you know, there is a couple notable fusions in this set that I want to go over, so I figured I'd talk about them. First up, we have Master of Oz at 4200 attack power. It's just really huge. It's a big vanilla, doesn't really do anything, but it was one of the strongest monsters in the game with like printed attack power for a very long time. So if you could summon it in a Australia deck, you know, it would actually be kind of a threat. Ojama King kind of combos with all the jammas that we got in like what, 2 sets ago? Last set? I don't remember. But he's an okay fusion. There's a lockdown with him if you get him on board with ground collapse. I'm assuming your opponent can't like play anything. So that's kind of cute, I suppose. So, you know, combo with a couple other things, your opponent can't actually play monsters. It's not very good, it's really clumsy and requires a lot to go right. But if you could do it, okay. Level up! It forces a level up of one of the level monsters. It's okay. I mean, it's not super great. It's kind of a neg-1, but it does give you the advantage of playing that big old Horus beater Tommy was talking about earlier with kind of for free, you know, to deal with Horus level 6's effect.
Horus is awesome.
And it's just an honorable mention pretty much solely because it might not be super great, but it is kind of required for the mechanic, so I might as well talk about it. And the most broken card in this set is Mind on Air.
Oh my god!
Mind on Air is actually our dishonorable mention. If I ever do a worst cards in every set, This would probably be number 1. I might do that when I finish this series. Mind on Air is absolutely terrible. It's a level 6 Dark Spellcaster. It's a navigation target. Oh, Dark Magicians. Basically reading, as long as this card's on the field, your opponent must play with their hand revealed. At 1,000 attack and 1,600 defense. This thing is not staying on the board. I guess information's good, and it does kind of give you this idea that this whole set was based on hand manipulation, either knowing what was in your opponent's hand or doing something when their hand has got a certain number of cards in it. It's a really weird thing to base an entire set around, and I guess this was supposed to be the monster that lets you use all the spells and traps in the set, but it's weak. You'd have to sack for it without navigation.
You can play it in Spiral.
Oh, no, it doesn't help you, because it's already in their hand. It's not on their deck. But the best card in this set, which is actually really still kind of a relevant card, is Mind Crush. Ah, yes, Mind Crush is one of my favorite old school trap cards, and it has a bomb effect. Declare one card name your opponent reveals their hand. If they have that card in their hand, they must discard it. And if not, you have to discard a random card out of your hand. The cool thing about this one is you chain it to something like, I don't know, Rhoda, so you know exactly what's in their hand. You knock that one they just searched, and then you can actually get to look at the rest of their hand, and you have all the free information whatsoever. And in a certain deck like Dark Worlds or the New Dangers, that random discard against yourself, if you just blind call the thing, it might not necessarily be a problem, so you might be able to kind of at least get some use out of the card at worst if you need to blind it. Which is, I think, why the Mind on Air is in this set, because that was the gimmick. Oh, I know their hand, so I have a Mind Crush. This card is currently a 3, although I think it was limited at one point, which is kind of funny because this is the first set we ever had that doesn't have a forbidden, limited, or semi-limited card. So, hey, this thing got to be number 1 regardless, so good for you. But anyway, guys, that is Soul of the Duelist. This set is major... What are you doing? This set is major booty, but thank you, Tommy, for helping me.
These lights are roasting
I told
me.
See, everyone thinks I'm just goofing. It's really warm in here, right?
God.
Yeah, right? So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Soul the Duelist, and give me some hot tips for the nice spicy tech cards in the next set.
I'll give you a hot tip.
Oh, screw you. I'll see you guys next time.
You are now under the control of my Millennium Rod. You will subscribe to the channel, or watch the latest vid, and if not, you could watch whatever the this is.